Do you ever feel like a hamster on a hamster wheel, not getting anywhere new? Perhaps you've hit a plateau that has you asking, is this it? Have you accomplished all you've set out to do in life and are not feeling as fulfilled as you thought you would? It is normal at midlife to reassess what's working for you and what's not. It's also normal to want to reclaim your time, your energy, and your joy. Let's make the best out of the second half of our lives by having more fun, experiencing more peace, and feeling more joy. If any of this resonates with you, then this podcast is for you. I'm Megan Bayles Bartley. Now let's get ready to shift our shit. Hello there. Welcome back to the SOS podcast. I'm Megan Bayles Bartley here with episode number 7 of season 4. This season we are talking about resetting. We are using my book, Reset 6 Powerful Exercises to refocus your attention on what works for you and release what doesn't. So we are in exercise number 5 of our 6 from the book. And this one is called Embracing Gratitude. I'm sure you've heard about how helpful gratitude practices are, and just like focusing on your breathing, you like, yay, gratitude, it's fine. But perhaps you've never really sat and done maybe a gratitude journal, or something I really like to do is to write thank you notes to people from all parts of my life, to say thank you for being my friend, thank you for that cool thing you did, thank you for just being you. That's a wonderful way to expound on gratitude, that you're then sharing your gratitude with somebody else. All kinds of ways to be grateful. We're going to talk about the importance of gratitude, and we're going to reflect and be aware of our own gratitude here in this episode. So, gratitude is a wonderful way to shift our focus, shift our shit to what we are thankful for, rather than focusing on things that we are lacking. So again, limiting beliefs around focusing on what isn't there, or we can now, as our grown-ass adult selves, we get to decide, can we be thankful for what we do have and build on that, rather than to be constantly focused on the things that we don't have and wish we did. Sometimes we miss out on just being thankful for what is actually there. So this simple shift of focus can change the whole way we see life in general, as well as specific situations or scenarios. Instead of focusing on all the things that we see as going wrong at the moment, we could shift our focus. There's no shoulding here. We could shift our focus to see the things that are going well. When we do this, many more possibilities open up for us, right? So if we think about energy and the midpoint, being in a negative headspace, negative mindset, closed mindset, it's kind of, let's say, I don't know how to explain this, but like you feel it is sort of heavy. And so I think of it sort of as a lower, energy, or sometimes people say vibration. The midpoint is curiosity. Anything that you can do to get to curiosity can usually help shift a negative mindset, where you're more curious about how could this be different, to again become more positive or have a more positive outlook on life. Sometimes people's personalities are just more pessimistic, and sometimes people's personalities are more optimistic. If you don't want to change that, you don't really have to change that. A lot of times when people are feeling frustrated with their lives, or they're feeling depressed, they want to change that. They want some relief from that. So these are just some exercises to help you go about that. So gratitude, being in gratitude, is a wonderful way to shift your shit. So curiosity, wonderful way. Being curious, how can I do this differently? What am I learning from this experience? And then taking it a step further to gratitude. How can I be thankful for this experience, that this is a wonderful learning lesson for me? How can I see all the wonderful things that I have a roof over my head, I have food in my belly, things really aren't as bad as I might be thinking they are. And when you're stuck in kind of more of a negative mindset. Okay. So this is a similar process to the should versus could mentality that we've been talking about in the last couple episodes. When we only give ourselves one thing to focus on, the should, I should go to church, I should weigh less than I do. Whatever we think is not right or is, going well, we're judging ourselves for. We often get laser focused on that thing, and we have a hard time loosening our grip on it. So this is a way to start loosening your grip on the thing that you've maybe been stuck in a shoulding all over yourself scenario, or in a negative mindset about something you've been beating yourself up for, that critical parental voice in our heads that's keeping us hurt and lonely. All the previous episodes talk about all these different concepts. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go listen to the last couple episodes. Now, it starts to become the only option we see when we get stuck in this sort of negative mindset, because we're sort of spinning, spiraling, and all we're focusing on is this negativity, and we lose sight of what our other options could be. We could be thankful that we have the roof over our heads and food in our bellies. We could be thankful that most of the time we are healthy and somewhat happy. When horrible things hit, it's, of course, we're going to go into this, like, what is happening and how did I get into this place, which is a wonderful place to be, because then we're curious, we're asking questions. With this said, it is important to validate our emotions when we are having a difficult time. If we lose our job, it is unlikely that we're going to just look on the bright side immediately. There is often a process to mourning what we have lost or didn't go quite as we hoped or planned, or some big life event has happened. It's okay. We need to mourn that. We are in a grieving process. And when we allow our nurturing selves to show up and to validate how we're feeling, we aid in diffusing the hardship that we feel. Okay. It's probably not going to happen immediately, and it's going to, be a process. But when we are ready to move beyond the disappointment or the hurt or the sadness, the grieving, which could be a while, it could be months, it could be years. I mean, there's no right or wrong way to grieve, but we could look for the things that we are grateful for in the midst of the hardship, or that we were taught because of the hardship. And what we are grateful for can be as simple as the air we are breathing, the fact that we have clean water to drink, we have a roof over our heads, maybe a car that works most of the time, that we are able to put gas in the car. We can also be grateful to ourselves for giving ourselves the opportunities to notice these wonderful things, right? So I've had throughout my life friends that have had physical inabilities, because their bodies, they're either have a disease where they're unable to walk or unable to use their body in ways that I've been able to use my body and that has really reinforced for me the fact that like I am so thankful when that my body works the way that it does, even if it's feeling tired or sore or achy. I'm just so thankful that I have that ability to use it in ways that perhaps other people don't. So one thing we could be doing, and you might do this in your head, or you can come back and listen to this and write these things down. But let's begin by creating an extensive and ongoing list of all the things that you are grateful for about these last few episodes we've been talking about, this work that you've been doing to reset. What wonderful things have you noticed that you could be grateful for? Perhaps it's just the fact that you've listened to this, that you are wanting to reset and that you are attempting to reset, that you're trying something new. So it can be very, very simple. It doesn't have to be complicated or complex. Nobody's grading this. We're not judging it. It can be very simple. And oftentimes we have many more simple things to be grateful for, which just pile up and add up, which usually feel wonderful. Now, also, let's think about an extensive list or an ongoing list of all the things you are grateful for about the upcoming year. Perhaps it's potential possibilities that are coming up. Perhaps it's trips you have planned. Perhaps it's the fact that you have a job and you're able to work and make money to support yourself or your family. So what are some things you're thankful for in this upcoming year? And then let's take a moment to focus on yourself. What are all of the things that you are grateful for or could be grateful for about yourself? Sometimes this is a hard question for people because we tend to be so critical of ourselves that we have a hard time looking at all the things that are so wonderful about ourselves. So you can, if that's you, you can also imagine or remember what other people have said that they're grateful for you about. Maybe it's your kindness, your generosity, simple fact that you have working body parts, maybe even in the midst of having not working body parts or being in an illness, you've been able to most of the time maintain a fairly positive outlook, or are open to learning how this is helping you in some way learn things. Of course, we're not going to push that if that's your case, but there's probably at least a handful or more of things that you're thinking about. So you can be grateful to yourself for. Maybe it's just showing up and listening to this episode. Perhaps it's your curiosity of being more self-aware. So what are maybe some other people or opportunities or things that you have thought of that you are grateful for and perhaps deserve recognition, gratitude? Perhaps it's your partner or spouse that, their support in certain ways or in all ways you've been grateful for. Perhaps if you have kids, you're thankful for who they are and things that they've taught you. It could be your work, your career. Maybe it's your boss or your coworkers. Even sometimes in the midst of the difficulty, there's things that we could perhaps be grateful for. Maybe it's the opportunity to learn. Just take a moment to see what other things that you could be grateful for. The list is usually pretty ongoing. Once we get the ball rolling and we realize how many things we could be grateful for, that we could just be noticing. Again, this could be a wonderful exercise to do while you're sitting at a stoplight, 30 seconds, instead of grabbing your phone and seeing if somebody responded to your message. You could think about, I'm grateful to be sitting here in this car that's working, that's taking me to this place, right? Just to be grateful for the little things. So you can visit us online at mindfulness-center.com at any time. We have tons of resources there. You can sign up for our free monthly giveaway where you can get a copy of your own book. You can purchase this book on Amazon as well. It would be a great support to me to know that there are people out there who are interested in resetting. And as we wrap up this episode, we're just going to pause again. Exhale, noticing your exhale. And on the inhale, smiling. And just exhaling. And on the inhale, just smiling to yourself. Now that you have surrounded yourself with gratitude, feel free to take a break here before continuing. There's no need to rush through life or through these exercises. Check in with yourself and see what's best for you at this time.